Hello my fellow cheers, welcome back to EU4 Mission Tree Only. This series where we look at a nation's mission tree in its entirety without expanding outside of said mission tree. Today we are going to be looking at the nation of France. Yes, the 100 Years' War in France. Yeah, we're pretty much at the tail end of that event, and soon enough we're going to get the Surrender of Maine event. However, we're not going to be waiting for that event to happen. The chairman woke up and chose violence today, and we are going to be going ahead and invading England ahead of time. And the reason being is, well, all of this is our cores, and if we do a reconquest war, we actually take a little bit less AE. Now, if we wait for the Surrender of Maine event to happen, there's also a chance that England can just straight up give up Maine, and we don't have a fight with them. We don't get all of our cores back, and they also get a little bit more time to get some of their power base built up. We're not risking any of that. We're just going to go straight into fighting the English. And in terms of rivals, we're just going to rival the nations that hate us, such as England, Burgundy, and Castile. Also going to go ahead, start improving relations with Provence here. We actually start out as an ally to these guys, so we want to make sure that we get our relations with them up right away. And in terms of military size, yeah, we're pretty close to our force limit. We need 35 troops. And as you guys can see, we do start out with 2 generals. This is the important guy right here, John Barreau, who's our siege guy. So we need him to win all the major battles. I'll actually go ahead and put him on the main army up north, and then this guy will just be down here. Now, France does start out with quite a few vassals. In fact, we have 5 subjects at the start here, and they're a unique type of subject known as an appanage. What they do, honestly, let's find out. It does not tell me what they do, other than I know that there's this privilege right here, such as French strong duchies, which allows us to basically have these guys, and we need to get rid of this in order to begin annexing some of these guys, I believe. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually hire the Free Company down here in the south, and that should get us pretty close to finishing up a mission. And then we're going to wait till December 11th, and we're just going to go straight in on beating up on England. When looking at our advisors, I already hired my mill guys, so that's a plus. But we do get some cheap level 2 advisors, like this guy who's literally half cost. That's fantastic, level 2 advisor. And yeah, we got a couple admin guys that we could also hire who's also half cost. I'm going to go for this inflation guy. We're still making, well, we would be making a little bit of money, but, losing half a ducat, not too bad. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and declare our reconquest war. This time, we're going to do this for Alencion over here. And yeah, really not too much to be said here. So let's just go for it. So apparently I could go ahead, complete retake Gascony here. Just simply occupying these provinces while we're in a war against the English, we actually make it cheaper to take in a peace deal. So yeah, make sure you take this before you actually take the land. And apparently, if we do this while we're at peace, they lose 10 devastation. Otherwise, we're going to get victory against the English for 15 years, along with 10% manpower recovery speed and monthly war exhaustion. So yeah, definitely taking this right away. And we're going to go ahead and fight our very first battle here, which is going to be against the Portuguese. I made sure to put John Barreau in charge of this army. This is going to be our first battle with John that we have won. And we're just going to go ahead and follow the Portuguese all the way back to Portugal. Basically just beat them up and get all the war score from them. Well, this is awkward. I didn't expect England to land all their guys down here. Okay. We're going to have to send this army back in a moment. Oh, they just... Okay, that's not good. They got stack wiped there. And there we go, I just stack wiped an English army of 16,000 guys over here, and now I could get Refine the Bombards, which gives me 25% siege or assault fort ability, 25%, along with artillery level contribution to siege +1. Plus we get 3 bombards over here in our capital, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and get those down here with the main army. I've apparently completed appease the dynasties, which just means I get an extra Diplo relation slot. Ability gets loyalty equilibrium, and every one of my subjects gets 1 random development in their capital. From there, I have to improve Paris at least 8 times and make sure all my subjects have less than 5% liberty desire, making it cheaper for me to annex them for the next 20 years. Plus, all my estates lose a little bit of influence, and I gain 20 reform progress based on my admin, I guess. So I guess it would be 160? At that point, yeah, that would be 160. That's actually pretty nice. in this war against England, we could literally take back all of our cores and the province of Calais, which I am taking Calais just because I have a mission for Calais here, and I don't believe I get any claims for Calais at all. So yeah, we're going to be able to take that and all of our cores back for less than, or about 30 AE, which is not bad at all. If I really wanted to, I could probably even land over here, but I'd have to deal with the English Navy first. But not bad at all. Our country's already looking a little bit less fragmented. And now what I could go ahead and do is complete the Liberate Normandy mission, which just requires us to own all of Normandy. We get the Ducal Ring of Normandy, along with a bunch of permanent claims in Burgundy and Brittany. So Normandy loses all their cores on the area. We gain 50 mil power, and all the land controlled by my estates changes. From there, we have the Burgundian Succession here. Either we have to be friendos with these guys or own a bunch of their provinces. If we complete this, if we do this via Opinion and Alliance, there's more than likely a chance that we're just going to straight up get Burgundy in the Burgundian inheritance. Which obviously that would be nice, but the chances of that happening are very slim. So this is an interesting event that happens every single game, whether you are France, Austria, or I think even Castile gets this event. But you get the Milanese Succession. Pretty much their old duke just dies. They become a republic. And from there, you could actually enforce a union on these guys within the next 25 years, or just prestige. We're going to go for this top option. All we have to wait and hope for here now is just that the Emperor decides to abandon Italy in the next 20 years. For my Tier 2 government reform, we're going to go with Strength and Noble Privileges. Alright, so what I'm discovering about these appanage subjects is, for one, you have to seize land in order to annex any of these guys. So of course the usual stuff being 190 relations, and you have to seize land at least one time. We can finally pick up our very first idea group, and we're going to go with a military one. And honestly, I'm feeling like either offensive or quality ideas will probably work out the best for us, though obviously quantity ideas would be disgusting because we could just have an absurd amount of guys. But for right now, I'm feeling like offensive, just to bolster up our generals, give us a little bit more force limit, and get some siege ability and discipline. Should be pretty good. Also realized I didn't talk about French ideas, so let's go ahead and do that now. You get 20% national manpower and Diplo rep in your ideas right at the start. When you complete all of them, you get minus 10 dev cost. You also get war taxes cost minus 50%, which is actually really nice. Morale of armies plus 15% and 0.50 yearly army tradition. This used to be Elan, and it used to give you, I think, 20 or 25% morale, so they actually nerfed this a little bit. National unrest and reform progress growth, native uprising chance, and assimilation. This is actually pretty nice because you could actually take the native trading policy and never have natives rise up against you. Court creation cost and max absolutism, discipline, and fort defense, along with garrison army damage. So overall, very good ideas. So apparently I just straight up inherited Orleans. I guess they had no heir, so the game just gave me their country. I could go ahead and complete another mission, which is connect the provinces. 8 provinces need to be in the region of France, improved at least 2 times, or have a building, and average autonomy above minimum is less than 10%. From there, now I just have to embrace the Renaissance, and we can complete this, and we can finally move on to these 3 missions down here. Finally completed this mission, got provinces trust with us up to 90, 150 opinion with us. So hopefully they decide that they're going to just become our subject, which they do. We get minus 15% AE impact, 20 prestige. Oh man, this is great. We just got to straight up just PU over province here. And not only that, we actually got some land here in the HRE. Now that I've embraced the Renaissance, by taking out some burger loans, and I have at least 1 stability, we can complete this. Get a level 3 advisor who's 75% cheaper, 50 admin, along with monthly splendor and innovativeness gain for the next 25 years. Or 20 years, my bad. Then from there we got Trial of Joan of Arc. Pretty much we just have to enact that decision, which is right here. We just need the Pope to like us a lot, essentially, and we could do that. And on top of that, we need to either have religious ideas, Edict the Nuns, Papal Controller, or Clergy is very much happy from us and have completed 4 agendas for them. From there, we have the 8 universities, which require us to have at least 2 buildings in at least 3 of these provinces here. And Paris has to be improved 8 times, and we get La Sorbonne. Then we get the the Architectura. Then we have this mission right here. Just have to build 12 temples. Have 20 innovativeness, 50 prestige, 3 stability, or completed innovative ideas. And then we get 200 splendor, 25 prestige, and of course that gets converted to monarch power. What I'm going to go ahead and start doing now is allying most of these electors, because I actually plan on destroying the HRE, so it makes our expansion into Germany way, way easier, especially since we do have missions to actually conquer all the Low Countries later. So certain nations like Bohemia obviously would be fantastic to ally if they didn't have too many relations, but as long as I just improve relations with them, that shouldn't be a problem. In order to dismantle the HRE, you either need to occupy all these guys' capitals, ally all the electors, and then occupy the capital of Austria. Then you could just straight up destroy it. And honestly, like, that's the best thing to do as France. I mean, you know, we do have a mission or a path that we can go down here, which is to face the empire. We can either want to become the emperor or just destroy it, which that's the path we're going down. And then over here we have another one of basically restoring a Jerusalem down here, or just simply going down a whole path of conquering Italy, which that's the path we're going down today. Like I said, I woke up and I chose violence today. Alright, so now I'm currently allied to every elector over here, so now I just have to occupy Vienna. What's really the easiest way to do that? Well, we gotta attack somebody in Italy, which also I didn't realize, but Italy left the HRE. So yeah, really fast, I'm gonna go ahead and subjugate Milan. I'm going to call on Venice to do this too. I thought this was enforce a PU on these guys. It turns out it's actually just a straight up subjugation war. So yeah, we're going to take a lot of AE. A lot of people are going to hate us. I'm okay with it just because it's Milan, and Milan's very, very strong. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and invade. I'm going to complete an age objective of humiliating a rival, and I'm going to destroy the HRE. Okay, so this war's not working out the way I wanted to, because both Mainz and Saxony, who were my allies, got pieced out. I'm just going to white peace, cut my losses, and I'll re-ally those guys, and then we'll try this again. I could complete a House United, 3 stability, 95 legitimacy, along with them having at least 75 development. We get strong familial ties, giving us vassal force summit contribution, less liberty in our subjects, and yeah, with 190 opinion, 100 trust, they also give us an additional diplomat and diplo reputation. So this is a weird one. Ansbach is now the emperor. Alright, while I'm waiting for some of these coalition guys to get out of my coalition, I'm just going to go ahead and attack Brittany. This will plunge me into a war against Burgundy, and I'm hoping this actually triggers the Burgundian secession event. I'm not going to call on any of these guys out of fear that they're just going to get pieced out and the alliance will break. So yeah, it's just going to be me versus Burgundy and Brittany. And the whole Burgundian thing happened, and guess what? Burgundy went under Castile. They chose pretty much the historical option here. Apparently I have reconquest on these guys. Oh yeah. The emperor is probably going to demand this. And we're going to try and push our claim. I'm going to just white peace out Brittany here. I'll come back for that later, but we're probably going to be ending up at war with Castile here, who also, interestingly enough, is trying to enforce a union over Naples now. Second idea group time. I'm thinking we're going to pick up something like admin ideas here. We're going to need the Gulf Cap. And what you're looking at, Ansbach actually went for the liberation war on these guys. You're nuts, Ansbach. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and invade the HRE. This is going to break my alliance with Brandenburg here. That's fine. But I need to occupy Ansbach and Berlin. Well, not Berlin anymore, but Rupen. Oh, and apparently Palatinate broke their alliance too. Oh well. And finally, I own everybody's capital. I could just dismantle the HRE. It's done. It's gone. No longer have to worry about this crap at all. As for this war, I don't need to be in this war anymore. Now all I have to do is figure out this whole freaking thing with Burgundy and Castile. Which I probably, yeah, I have to wait till my truce with them is over. Also, unfortunately, Naples is under these guys. Hoping that they actually have a negative opinion of Castile. They do. Oh, would you look at that? Alright, so here's my actual plan here. So pretty much I'm just surrounded by Castile. I'm going to wait until I can get the age ability here for transfer subject. And when I do attack Castile, which is going to be for primarily Burgundy, I get all these cores on all the Burgundian territory here. I'm going to take all my cores back. And hopefully in that same peace deal, I could take Naples as a subject. If not, it's not a big deal. But if I could definitely get Naples, that would be fantastic. Or alternatively, enforce my union over Burgundy. I'll take either one. I finally completed this Loire Valley Chateau. It just required us to own these 3 provinces over here, or at least I guess all the provinces in this general area. And one of them had to be improved at least 3 times, which Orleans, literally they improved their capital twice. I just had to do it once. We get Gardens of France. We get base manpower in the whole valley area, loyalty equilibrium, or we get money and admin power. I'm actually going to go ahead and vassalize Brittany. I feel like that's actually going to be a little bit nicer. I love playing with subjects, like with vassals and all that stuff. So this actually works right up my alley, and they're a pretty decent sized subject. And honestly, I don't value diplo points as much as admin or mill. What I'm going to go ahead and do right now, I'm actually, because it's going to be a while before I get my age ability. We're getting close to the 1500s when the Protestant Reformation happens. I'm going to go ahead and declare my Reconquest War right now. I'm going to call on both Bohemia and Venice to help me out. And who knows, maybe I'll even... We'll see what I could do to these guys. Spanish, thought they'd be able to get my guys out of position here. Ooh, here come the Burgundians. We should... Ooh... A lot closer of a battle. Yeah, they're going to get in here to reinforce in time. All right, let's retreat. We're going to have to focus everything on Castile. Oh, man, they have, like, no troops. This is probably actually their entire army right here. Here, for government reform, we're just going to go with maintain balance of power. I like the extra diplomat. Our Armorican Peninsula here. This event pops up. We get a cheaper advisor and 3 innovativeness. It's not that bad. And now I could go ahead and complete the Crown of France, because I own at least 50 provinces in the French region, be it my own or tributary subjects. We get power projection, prestige, all that stuff, so that's nice. Then once I do this whole Burgundian succession thing, I could do face the empire and get into some of those branching missions. In my war here, I'll literally be able to take all this stuff, and I'm not going to get a coalition. It is going to be 42 AE, but because it's all cores, the HRE is gone. I don't have to worry about AE really anymore. And now I could go ahead and complete Burgundian Secession. Now that I've completed the Burgundian Secession mission, just simply by owning all of these, pretty much most of the land in the French region here, I can now complete Face the Empire. We get the Von Hohenzollern happens. And I get France gets triumph over the Emperor till the end of the game, prestige decay, chance of a new era, 200 diplomatic power. And because we already destroyed the HRE, it just gives us the option pretty much to keep going down that whole path. I guess the Papal States got beat up even more and was forced to return the province of Avignon over to my subject of Provence. So now we can complete this. I just simply had to insult the Pope. And now we go down a path of defying the Pope. So we get 15% siege ability for the next 20 years, a bunch of permanent claims, and new missions down here. If we went down the other option where we're friends with the Pope, pretty much the Pope goes down a path of forming the Kingdom of God. I don't necessarily know how that mechanic works. I've read on Reddit where people are like, oh, it's basically like a march. But then when you actually look at the missions, it doesn't say anything about making the Pope into a march. So yeah, we're going to go down this whole path here. We already own Milan, so we get securing the Milanese lands happen. We can make him into a junior partner. That does not cost a diplo relation. We get 100 diplo power. Cutthroat diplomacy +1. Diplomat covert action relation impact -100. We will fully infiltrate the courts of every Italian nation that's not allied to us, or Italy belongs to us with 100 mil power, mercenary costs, and court creation costs. I like this one. And apparently I've been kicking so much butt. Yeah, my army tradition's up at 66.6. Lovely number. And I got 2 3-star generals. One guy's a 5-4-4-1. The other guy's a 3-6-3-1. Even my ruler is really good. He's a 5-4-1-3. I've begun by just simply feeding my subject of Milan a good portion of northern Italy here. We're going to end up at war again with Castile. We're going to attack the ally of Montferrat over here. We're going to call him Bohemia just because we can. This is also going to prevent people from joining a coalition, but even more importantly, I could wipe peace out Castile, reset the truce so it's 5 years, and then come back for Naples a little bit later. So now I've gone and conquered the entire Alpine Pass, which was just Savoy. I now get a permanent claim on all of Italy, along with AE impact -10, and my nobility gets a little bit more loyal. And what I'm going to do is just simply chill until my truce with Castile is over. I'm going to focus more on these economic developmental missions for the next 5 or so years. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and go for a straight up conquest on Castile. We're going to take Naples away from these guys. I don't want them to have Naples anymore. Maybe I'll take, you know, Burgundy away. We'll see what the peace terms look like. I mean, if I could get both Burgundy and Naples in a PU with me, that's just disgusting. Alright, so this war, I'm just going to simply just vassalize Naples. Now we'll come back for their cores on Sicily over here a little bit later. Plus, I'm going to diplo-vassalize Switzerland in a moment here, so I'll also come back for the Swiss cores. We can actually go ahead and also complete Throne of Naples, which gives us the Fate of Naples. Gives them a bunch of development, advisor costs, corruption, reform progress. They exist to serve the crown, so we get more dev costs and national tax. May also result in a shift of population as Napolini people make it over to me, or we get permanent claims on these guys. We're just going to do the nice thing and choose the top option. I like strong vassals. Dang, okay, Scotland. I see you just kicking some butt over here. What the heck? I honestly thought Scotland was just going to get demolished because they got their ally over here of Tyrconnell got invaded by the English. But yeah, okay. I see you. I respect it. Oh, I see Sicily's a thing. So yeah, we're going to go down here. We're going to do a whole reconquest on these guys. Feed all that over to my boy Naples. And there goes Burgundy. Okay. I think we're just going to have to go mano-a-mano with Castile for the rest of the game. Finally built up to 12 temples. I have 15. My prestige is over 50. Stability at least 3. And in Avignon, my Palace of the Popes is at least tier 1. I could complete this, get 200 splendor, 25 prestige, and the Palace of the Popes go up by 1 more tier. I think it's finally time we start beating down on the Austrians here. They're starting to get to be like way too big in the HRE. We're going to invade their ally of the 3 leagues because my subject actually has some cores. Yeah, my subject being Switzerland needs their cores back over here. So we're going to do that. We'll release out a few nations out of Austria. Probably Styria, because I feel like that's going to weaken them the most. For my tier 5 government reform, we are just going to go ahead and take the Gendarmes. For that cav combat, morale damage, nobility, loyalty, equilibrium. I like this one actually a lot. With my truce with Castile finally being over, we're going to go ahead and launch a war against them. I mean, honestly, Age of Discovery is about to end because Frankfurt over here decided, you know what, we needed the Protestant Reformation to occur. I'm kind of feeling tempted to be a little bit crazy and take Aragon away from Castile, but also at the same time, I want to make sure I get all of this German stuff over here. That's kind of more of a priority. Would you look at that? Netherlands just declared independence. I mean, that's kind of cool. Okay, so I really just messed up Castile a little bit, at least over here. Burgundy's now back. So welcome back, Burgundy. My boy Switzerland just got all her cores back. Other than this one right here. There we go. Switzerland's back, baby. I mean, luckily for Netherlands over here, they are getting a bunch of people to join them. The only issue is, no, I don't think somebody like Brabant or Utrecht's going to join them. I know for a fact Burgundy would never. Because I just took out Genoa, and now my subject of Milan owns this area. I can now complete the Signoria of Genoa, giving us French Signoria of Genoa happens. Genoese fleet will be at our disposal. Genova gets port of French Signoria till the end of the game, doing local trade power and local tax. With the capital of Milan being improved at least 5 times, we own the entire Lombardy area. We can now complete this. We're going to get early opera flourishes. The monument here also changes. We get a cheaper advisor. Finally, third idea group time. We're going to go ahead just pick up exploration ideas. We need to start getting into the colonization game because we are so far behind. Finally completed this mission right here. Just requires us to have 12 galleys, 80% of my sailor force limit. Alright, I think it's time we finally turn our attention to our former ally of Venice, who is getting invaded by the Ottomans here. We're just going to launch a quick reconquest on these guys. And then honestly, yeah, we're just going to try and knock Venice down to size. Alright, I can finally complete Port of Calais. It just needs to be owned by you. 80% of your naval force limit, along with 20% of that being heavy ships. Yeah, all of a sudden we have claims in all this stuff right here. I could also complete Old Alliance here. I really, really want to subjugate these guys, but honestly, just for the fact they're just quickly doing this, yeah, we'll just do that. And soon enough, we will be invading England here. In fact, I think we'll just go ahead and invade England right now. Let's just go for it. I mean, so far this is going really easy. I mean, even my Navy has been doing a pretty darn good job. Look at that, destroying the British Navy here. Well, look at that too. The Reformation actually just branched out Netherlands. It's going to be really nice because I could take this religious wars idea a little bit later, and that'll be fantastic to take a lot of Dutch land. Tier 6 government reform. I'm just going to go with aristocrat court so we get that diplo rep and improve relations. Alright, so this is looking like the type of peace deal we're going to take, which is pretty much the entire London area here. London Bridge is definitely falling down. Now I could go ahead and complete this. London calling. London gets renamed to Domaine Française and also gets renamed to Londres. Gets a bunch of development, and the Tower of London will grant supplementary benefits for our absolutism and our revolutionary zeal. Okay. And now we got permanent claims on all of Britannia. I can finally complete the trial of Joan of Arc, which just requires us to have enacted that decision. Either complete religious ideas, edict of nuns, papal controller, or my clergy is at least 60 loyalty with 80 influence and 4 agendas being completed. We get rehabilitation of Joan for 25 years with tolerance of true faith, yearly papal influence, and clergy loyalty equilibrium. With all my subjects having liberty desire below 5%, my capital's been improved at least 8 times, and I have 90 legitimacy. I can now complete this, get a bunch of monthly reform progress, along with diplo annexation costs minus 15%, and all estates influence minus 10% for the next 20 years. And I mean, I know I destroyed the HRE. My God, what the heck even is this? Like, look at Brunswick. I mean, they are very close to forming Hanover. The Netherlands is definitely taking advantage of the fact that HRE is not here. And like Saxony and Austria, like why? What is all this? This is disgusting. And in the fact the Netherlands even owns stuff over here is just horrible too. Like, if you guys haven't watched my Netherlands mission tree, like you guys would know, like they get claims over here in Gotland and Lubeck, but like, why? And of course I start talking about Saxony and Brunswick and all that stuff, and yeah, guess who decides to invade Saxony? None other than my boy Bohemia. Meanwhile, I'm over here just planning my next invasion of England, which we're just going to go ahead and do right now. I guess we'll just attack them for, I don't know, Cornwall. Alright, in this war with England, I'm not going to take that much because otherwise it's going to reignite my coalition really bad. So not too much on the mainland. However, I will be taking over their entire colonial nation so I can start setting up a colony over here in Canada. And here we go, we got our French-Canadian nation. I think we're going to make French Canada into a self-governing colony so it expands a lot faster. Alright, I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and invade Spain really fast. And the reason we're going to do this is not so we can expand into Iberia, but actually so we could take over their colonies here in the Caribbean, because I have a mission to own at least Haiti. So we're going to try and take the entire thing. Alright, so it looks like we are just going to be able to take the entire Caribbean away from them. Now with the Caribbean, I'm going to make it into a private enterprise. Focuses more on trade and getting more money, so it should be perfect. I'm actually not going to take any land. I'm going to release out a bunch of German nations out of them. And the reason for that is I know I could diplo-vassalize Liège. I know I could diplo-vassalize Friesland here, or even East Frisia. Granted, I will lose my claims on these 3 provinces, but I mean, I'll just simply be able to vassalize them without taking any AE. And it's going to work out because I'm about to invade England anyways. So, no AE, free expansion to Netherlands. It's a win-win for me. I must say, I kind of like how England's looking a little bit more blue. Alright, I think it's time we be a little bit crazy here. We're gonna fight the Ottomans for Salerno over here. In the meantime, gives us a chance to hopefully break these guys apart. As you guys can see, this is going to be a huge freaking war. So far, this has not been a bad war at all. In fact, Poland's got a couple stack wipes on the Ottomans. We have completely pushed them out of Eastern Europe here. Honestly, I'm just going to take the 1 province, war reps, and almost 5,000 ducats. That sounds perfect to me. Now the Ottomans are paying me almost 17 ducats in war reparations. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I actually subjugated Scotland, so we're going to be attacking England for like reconquest. Plus I got the cheaper religious wars, and England is Anglican, so we're going to be able to conquer the British Isles very, very fast. And apparently, now that I own 30 provinces between both me and my Scottish-British subject over here, we could complete this mission, the French Isles. Pretty much we can gain English as an accepted culture, getting British naval expertise to the end of the game with yearly naval tradition, max promoted culture, and ship cannons. Or France gets French Isles, which gives us 5 dev costs and culture conversion. Concentrating development will also reduce separatism. I'm just going to go ahead and take everything I have a claim on here in the Netherlands. This is pretty much going to eliminate most of their development here. And pretty much completely just neuter these guys. I'll be honest with you guys. I really wanted to chill out. I really did. But then I wanted to kick England's butt. And then while I was at it, I was like, you know what? I want to kick Netherlands' butt. And probably in a few years, I want to kick the Spanish butt. It's just like, I really did want to, you know, chill out for the next 15 years. But yeah, no. Finally now I'm the Pope. Waiting for this all game. Okay, so I just launched a war against Spain, won that war, and I released out Aragon. Now you may be asking yourself, well, Chairman, that's not technically part of your mission. And I mean, yes and no. I have a mission here, Kingdoms of Spain, and because I'm not allied to Castile or Spain in this situation, I actually have to own 15 provinces. Simply released out Aragon and then negate a lot of that AE. We're going to take all their cores back, and Aragon's just going to be my little pal to the south. They're going to be pretty strong. Alright, so I started a very easy war against Franconia over here, just simply to get my core back that the Palatinate over here has. And I did call on my friend Poland into this war, so they're going to join that. So now I can actually invade their friend Venice, because now they're in a war with me, so they won't be able to join their ally in a defensive war. And I'm doing a lot of this just because, yeah, we're going to get coalitioned pretty hard if I don't just set up truces with a bunch of people. Alright, so I'm going to finish up my war with the Venetians. I'm going to give Naples, all 3 of these provinces, return a core back to Florence. And pretty much just take as much money as possible. Yeah, and I mean, you know, most of Europe hates me. Even my ally Bohemia is starting to hate me, but, you know, we're the strongest guy on the block. Nobody could really do anything about it except maybe the Ottomans. In our war with England, I am just going to take pretty much all of Ireland. England is just going to be these 4 provinces over here at this point, plus whatever they have over here in Canada, which I'm not really worried about right now. But yeah, we're going to be taking all of this land, and England is literally just going to be this. Once we annex that, England is completely gone. No longer have to worry about these bad boys anymore. And as you guys can see, my war exhaustion is extremely high right now. That's because I've just been in constant warfare for such a long time now. And that's not really going to change, unfortunately, for us, because our truce with Spain is actually about to be over, and I need to get all these cores for Aragon back. Especially because Aragon loses these cores in 1676, so I got a lot of work to do in order to get all those provinces back. And again, Chairman, why are you doing this? Well, simply, I have to complete this one mission all the way up here, Kingdom of Spain, where I have to own at least 15 provinces here in Iberia. And I also have to either insult or scornfully insult these guys. Apparently, the bottom half has to be true. So total development grown by at least 300. Paris is in the region Iberia, which I'm assuming just means that Iberia just has to be connected to my capital. Oh, that army just came out of nowhere, and I'm getting stack wiped right there, aren't I? Oh, no? Okay. Okay. I thought I was getting stack wiped, and I got very concerned very fast. And like that, in one war, Aragon's pretty much back. Just need these 5 provinces, and we are good to go on all of Aragon's cores. Alright, so I started a war against Frankfurt, because they actually have a couple provinces that I need from them. Which, if we look at Dismantle the HRE, I just actually need to own the province of Frankfurt, and either gain 14 mil power a month, or have 90 prestige, which I would have a ton of prestige right now, but my subjects are just constantly a pain in my butt. And now that I'm also in this war, I have Poland helping me out, so I'm going to actually wage war against the Venetians in a minute here as well. So after full annexing England, they're completely wiped off the face of the earth. We're now going for Rome, so I could wipe peace out Spain, reset my truce, fully annex the Pope, and this way we could really just focus on Venice. Finally, I could complete the top portion of the mission tree. City of Lights just requires us to own the entire Lazio Umbria area, complete Crown of Naples, and Ambrosian Succession, which basically just has to deal with events that allow you to subjugate these guys. We get City of Lights. If we did this while we are not Catholic, we actually get the legendary Conqueror trait. Meanwhile, and regardless of what we do, France gets host of the City of Lights until the end of the game, so prestige decay -1, whatever. If we complete this mission while we are Catholic, we no longer get the diplomatic or papal malices. So that's pretty nice. Though I would assume Naples would have been the one that would had to suffer for that. And stupid Naples just gave up Papal States again. We're going to have to reconquer them again. We literally just got done beating you up, but guess what? We're going to be in a war with you again. Finally, because I've restored Aragon back to its former glory, we can now complete Kingdoms of Spain. Yeah, Aragon gains a core in Iberia. Oh. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, finally Milan's out of the way. A lot of my subjects, like Naples, believe it or not, even though some of these guys have still really high liberty desire, it's gone down. Especially like Naples. Naples has gone down quite substantially. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of this, and we're going to go ahead and invade Venice. We only need 5 more provinces from these guys in order to finally completely own all of Italy under our complete control. So might as well try and push for those last 5 provinces. It's been a while since I've been able to say this, but we finally completed another mission, which is the 8 universities. 3 provinces just need to either have 2 buildings improved at least 5 times, or have a university, and Paris needs to be improved at least 8 times. Finally, I could take Venice from the Venetians, and that'll allow us to pretty much complete our entire Italian mission tree here. We could do the League of Cambrai, pretty much destroys the Doge's Palace. Get King's Palace residence, Diplo relations, reform progress, all estates, loyalty, equilibrium, 20 prestige, Golden March, because we didn't do anything with the Pope. We get Monarch military skill +1 guaranteed. And then House of God. We just need to have Rome be 30 dev and have a temple or a cathedral. And we complete all this. After upgrading both my ports and Anvers and Holland up to size 3, and I have at least 6 provinces in the Low Countries that are ports, I can now complete Harness the Dutch Coast, which gives base production to every cloth province that I own in the Low Countries. Along with trade value modifier +10% until the end of the game, we get 3 mercantilism, and if Holland has 40 dev, Dutch polders gets upgraded by 1. Now that I just became an empire, declared myself an empire, I now have 90 prestige, can complete this. My ruler is now iron crowned. Don't know what that necessarily means. Monthly war exhaustion and core creation cost. Okay, that's actually a really good personality trait. Never even knew that existed. And we are so close to finally completing that imperial one. We just need to own 25 more provinces. Using my unique edict that I got from one of my previous missions, French infrastructure network, and owning at least 6 provinces with a marketplace, trade depot, or stock exchange with development at least 25 or center level trade, or a level 2 center of trade. We can complete this, get trade efficiency, global prosperity, and bourgeoisie loyalty equilibrium. We're down to these 2 missions here. Fund trade ventures. And apparently we got Revolutionary Poland, who just broke their alliance with me, so rip that alliance. Finally, I have 70 army professionalism, so I can now complete Royal Musketeers, allowing me to actually get French Musketeers as our unique unit, which they do more land fire damage. I don't know why I haven't done this like earlier. Some of these missions I should have done earlier. I don't know why it took me this long. Finally, I also completed all my government reforms, And I have at least 25 courthouses, so I could complete reform the legal system, autonomy change cooldown, state governing costs, all state loyalty equilibrium, and courthouses now grant a -1 unrest bonus. With Naples completely out of the way, I can now complete House of God. Would you look at that? It's Marie Antoinette. I mean, I could actually also become an economic hegemon. Let's definitely do that. That's the second time I've become a hegemon in one of these games. Finally, because I annexed my subject Friesland over here, I inherited their colony over here in Canada. So yes, French Canada is a thing. And finally, I could complete this mission colonial approach, which just requires us to own 2 colonial nations, both with 150 opinion with us, under 10 liberty desire, and I also have to own 5 provinces in Guinea. We get trade efficiency, global tariffs, trade company investment costs for the next 25 years, plus 5 mercantilism, which requires us to own 4 fur-producing provinces in Canada with a manufactory. Then 6 random provinces get fur grounds to the end of the game, local goods produced plus 1. And because I completed Hudson Bay fur, harnessed the Dutch coast, and conquered the Isles, along with owning at least 75% or more trade power and off the coast of Holland, which is English Channel, I own 95%. At least 50 mercantilism or trade ideas. We can now complete this. English Channel gets renamed to La Manche. Coast of Holland gets renamed to Basque-Côte. And we get channel dominance till the end of the game, giving us trade efficiency and naval force limit till the end of the game. While the channel is the highest value trade node in the world, we will gain 1 mercantilism for every trade center. I've also apparently completed fun trade ventures, and that's because my trade node is the most valuable in the world right now at 185 ducats. You just simply have to complete the previous 2 missions, along with 12 provinces with a marketplace, either complete trade ideas, ruler's entrepreneur, or Champagne's the most valued trade node in the world, or a bunch of state stuff with your bourgeoisie. Then we get protect trade state edict. Then we get protect trade state edict, which gives us local trade power plus 25%, plus a level 2 tax advisor for half cost. And finally, we can complete Embrace Colbertism, which just requires fun trade ventures, embrace global trade, have at least 100 light ships, 50 mercantilism, either complete trade ideas or our own 80% trade power in Champagne. And because I chose Colbert as an excellent minister, I get court creation cost and reform progress growth for the next 25 years. Because I now have 90 absolutism, I have the French absolutism ability. I am in my golden era, I'm a hegemon, and I have 2500 dev. I can now complete Dawn Absolutism. We get L'été c'est moi to the end of the game, giving us overextension impact modifier. And because I completed that, I can now complete Fires of Industry, which just requires us to own 50 manufactories, 5 furnaces, and be an economic hegemon, or have at least 1,000 monthly income. Finally, I can complete French naval supremacy because I've completed the previous 2 missions, have the largest navy in all of Europe, have a naval doctrine, and I also have 150 heavy ships. We then get France rules the waves till the end of the game, giving us naval leader fire, and ships can repair in coastal sea zones. We can also build an additional flagship. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and launch an imperialist war against the Khan here. We're going to pretty much try and bum rush the province of Vanni over here, so I can block the strait with my fleet. And then pretty much just move as many of my troops over from France over to here. Alright, with my peace deal with the Khan, I could pretty much take the entire southern tip of India. We'll see if that equals out to 20 provinces. And it does. That should complete Indian dominance. Perfect. And I think that's about where we're going to call it. It's 1792, about to be 1793. And pretty much the entire French mission tree is completely done aside from this one mission here. As you guys can see, literally everything else has been done here. All the way down to the Fires of Industry. Overall, the French mission tree, pretty solid, pretty good. Gives you a good amount of diversity in terms of if you want to go more towards like a vassal swarm, become the emperor of the HRE, go down more of like an imperialist path. Obviously, we didn't go revolutionary in this game, but you know, that's okay. They do get their own unique revolutionary ideas as well. But, you know, we just didn't really have the chance to become revolutionary because our nation was so stable. That being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Next time we are going to be covering the entire Swedish mission tree. I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.